Welcome to the University of Nottingham podcast.
This week, bringing the ancient world to life with the help of some ultra-modern technology, we take a look behind the scenes at the new Showing Seeing Centre at the Departments of Classics and Archaeology.
It's a very unusual image for a classicist, I suppose, to actually see like kind of a notebook sitting somewhere and kind of working on images in Photoshop. Now, the rationale behind it is that classics, essentially, as a subject, is concerned with the culture, with the civilizations of Greece and Rome, and one part of these cultures is obviously what they left us on the level of visual monuments, visual remains. So, while the more traditional type of classic studies surely is thinking about literature, reading books and thinking about ancient literature, one very strong part is thinking about the cultural life of people in Greece and Rome. And unfortunately, because very, very little of it is left, most of the teaching and also the research on ancient cultures does have to rely on reconstruction. Now, in the good old days, people did drawings and kind of reconstructed Troy or something based on some of the material evidence they found there. And nowadays they do that with 3D programs and come up with amazing reconstructions. And some of you might have seen that in the Rome series, which was shown on television some time ago. It's sometimes very difficult to say how one of these kind of massive, kind of very, very impressive digital reconstructions actually relate to the evidence. So one of our key interests in teaching is to put our students in a position to actually be able to critically assess what they see. And one way of doing that is obviously to provide them with the expertise to how digital imagery comes about, what you have to do, how it relies on certain kind of elements of technology, and put them in a position to be able to use it and to use it kind of reasonably and carefully. And the same obviously applies for archaeology. C22 is a kind of a seminar style room. So we've got a computer and a scanner, so people can go there and do their scanning, scan images from books or their slides or photographs, whatever, and then modify them to use in a PowerPoint presentation for instance, a seminar presentation, or they can also use it to do a very similar thing with images, kind of scan them, work them, to put in one of the portfolios they have to put in as part of module assignments. And yeah, both the classics department and the archaeology department have a set of modules which are based on independent research work. So we've got a kind of a traditional PC workspace with a scanner in there, and then the PC is also linked to a plasma screen, which is also linked to a PlayStation. Well, most of my colleagues think it's because I like to play computer games, but the actual reason is that we actually do have modules, primarily one crucial module in the first year, which is called Classics and Popular Culture. The content or the objective of which is to think about ways in which the classical civilizations have been looked at in modern times, but also kind of in the 18th century, etc., kind of from a post-classical perspective. And one part of this module is also to think about how the ancient world looks in computer games, how it's used there, how it's kind of transmitted through computer games. C23, which is directly opposite C22, is a room which is administered by our student tutors, and C23 also has a PC and a scanner in it, and a laser printer, so people can come there and get some of their stuff printed for instance, their portfolios. But they can also they can also go to C23 and borrow equipment. We have a range of laptops there for borrowing, and just like the machine in C22, these laptops have Photoshop on them and other software. The third room is pretty much what you can call kind of printing and scanning service center. It's a room which is located within the drawing office, the archaeology drawing office, so where the students are actually doing their drawings and learn how to do archaeological drawings. And in there we've got an A0 scanner and an A0 printer, so linked to a computer. Again, this room is run by one of our student helpers, and people can go there during the opening hours to place orders for printing. So if students, for instance, have prepared a poster, on this particular topic, either for a conference. Some of our doctoral students, our graduate students, they go to conferences and present their research there in a poster format. They can have it printed on glossy paper, so kind of very professional, and they end up with a very professional product. From the time photography pops up as a tool, as an option, people start to think about how to use it and about the strategies of using it in particular ways. Our students are now used so much to these high quality visual images in films and in computer games. They're actually sometimes a bit disappointed when they see the stuff we come up with. So it's also something to actually sync our own way of transmitting content with the new aesthetics of digital imagery which come through the media and people kind of grow up with and they're very used to. And then they have to kind of relate to some of the more kind of archaic things we work with when they come to university. So it's a bit the urge to bring ourselves kind of up to scratch to what you can do with modern technology.